A highly anticipated welterweight clash headlines UFC 296 in Las Vegas as Leon "Rocky" Edwards, the welterweight champ, defends his belt against Colby "Chaos" Covington. Here for the preview once again, the head man at Fortis MMA, Sayif Saud. Sayif, 2023 has offered a lot of memorable moments and championship settings. Safe to say we're going out with a bang with this one.
You're absolutely right, Brendan. We've got Leon "Rocky" Edwards, the welterweight king, trying to add to his legacy. A very precise striker with excellent range management. He uses to set up those big power shots. Very good in the clinch, dangerous elbows, dangerous knees. Continuously working on that grappling game. He's really become one of the most balanced guys we have in the UFC, taking on the perennial contender, Colby "Chaos" Covington. More of a volume striker. Colby likes to back guys up, put them against the fence, use that high-level wrestling and transitions to that really good ground game, and really just push a pace that we've never seen at welterweight. These are two of the very best welterweights in the division, but they couldn't be more opposite, Brendan. We've got Colby Covington, the heavy grappler, the heavy pressure, a lot of pace, versus the methodical, precise striker in Leon Edwards. And this is really pressure versus precision. We're going to see who comes out on top in this one.
And we're going to dive into the X's and O's as we do on this show quite extensively. Hit that fight focus. And you mentioned it, two great fighters that do it in different ways.
Yeah.
And that equates to all facets of the game. We'll start with the champion, range striking. Covington can strike, but not the way that Leon Edwards does.
Absolutely. Leon has shown to be elite with his striking at range inside the octagon. He's going to need to keep that range and keep Colby at bay. We know Colby's aggressive. He's going to try to grab him and push him backwards. So let's just take a look at this. We're going to use the Kamaru Usman fight here. This was the last fight, and we really see this evolution here with Leon. We really see what he's become. And we've seen 3 fights with these guys, and in the first fight, he was pushed back against the cage. It was a lot of pressure. Now we just see the way he controls the distance. It's really amazing. So let's just take a look at this. This is the very beginning of the fight, and we're going to watch. These are just little feints and fakes going on, and we see Usman having a little reaction here, right? And this is just the very beginning of the fight. So we see that little feint, we see that little reaction. Leon is gauging that distance, right? He's getting that gauge on where that meter needs to be. And right when Usman comes back in for the second attempt, we see Leon's distance control. All right, let's just freeze this right here, right? Look at this punch. It's just not even close. So Leon has managed to get Usman to throw, and he replies with his own shot, right? But his shot lands. And this is the very beginning of when a fighter starts to get the range on another fighter, and that's when they can start landing their strikes. So Leon advances again, right? Usman got hit with that lead hand. So when Leon advances again, we see Usman take a step back, and he's going to switch to orthodox, right? That's how he changes the picture. You come at me and I step back. Now it's completely different distance. Let's watch what Leon does. Let's watch how fast these adjustments are from Leon. So all Leon's going to do is he's just going to touch the hand one time. He's going to measure the range, and he's just going to wait just a second. And when Usman reacts, here comes Leon. And let's look at this reaction here, right? We've got Usman, again, reacting with the hands down. We'll get into that later on, but just look at this kick. Leon just completely changed what he was doing, and you can see the foot is here, so all the shin is landing here right to the body, and that's exactly what you want. This is perfect range management. If it was the foot, it wouldn't quite be as good, but this just shows you how well he's calculating that range. And let's watch the reaction here with Usman. I mean, that kick obviously hurt him, right? Knocks him off balance. Again, let's just look. Leon is just eyeballing him. He is waiting for Usman, and he is reacting and landing every time. So here we're going to see Usman again. Usman's going to come forward. We see Leon just get out of the way. Bam, cracks him again. We're going to look at this again from a camera 7. It's a better view. Let's look at it right here. So you see this punch. It's just short, right? And that's what I want. I want you to be just short of me, so that way I'm in range where what? I can land right away. And we're going to see Leon do exactly that. Usman misses the punch, and then look at Leon. He's already loading this up and getting ready, and he's going to throw this punch, and he's going to go all the way through, right? You want to throw a punch through an opponent. You want to throw it just at him. You want to be in the range where you can drive that punch all the way through, and that's exactly what we see here from Leon. Watch this, boom, straight through, and we're going to see it again. Look at that. Look at that contact. It's exactly where you want to be. So by the middle of the fight, Leon has already gauged that range, and he's right where he needs to be, and he's starting to pick Kamaru apart. And as the fight plays out, Leon just gets better and better. So here we see Usman trying to do something, and Leon goes, you know what? I've got your timing down so well. You try to punch me, I'm just going to grab that and get it out of the way. Grabs this, gets it out of the way, And right away, he's got the range so well, he fires right back. And what's he going to fire back? Look at this straight left hand. I mean, perfect placement. You can see Usman's face. So he's just landing these shots. He doesn't stop, right? He was landing one at a time. We're going to watch this play through. So he lands here, and Usman's going to go, all right, I got to fire back, Leon. Miss, miss. So I land my shot, you throw back, I get out of the way of both those shots, and now it's my turn to fire again. Look at Usman reset. Here comes Leon. He's going to throw this nice little uppercut right about here. Bang, right? And now he's going to grab Usman's head, right? And now he's going to land this knee. So he's landed the left hand, the uppercut, the knee, and now we see Leon really putting it together. He's got to hold the head. Maybe I should knee. Maybe not. Here comes the elbow. Boom. So Leon Edwards, once he gets his range and once he gets his precision, he can land the whole time, keep Usman at bay. This is really important because Colby has a similar style, right? Pressures forward and likes to wrestle. So very impressive stuff with Leon, continues to evolve that range management.
Speaking of evolve, Covington, as you mentioned, likes to wrestle. He likes to strike. And when he throws, some of the numbers are pretty staggering, into the hundreds and 200s and 300s and beyond. When he gets going downhill, it can be dangerous for any opponent.
You're absolutely right. He's like a train, right, with his momentum. And he's a volume striker. He's not a power guy, but he switches his stances really well, and he pushes guys back into the fence, and then he'll transition to other things. So let's take a look at what Colby does on the feet here. And here he is against Masvidal. And we're going to look at him versus strikers because Leon's more of a striker, right? And everyone's like, okay, Colby's going to run. He's going to grab the legs. He's just going to try to take the guy down. Man, Colby pushes guys back with his stand-up. It's not powerful. It's not that it's, not impressive. It's not like he's got knockout power, but he's very good at putting it together. And the film shows that. So here we see him against Masvidal. He's kind of pushing him back. And it's just the volume, right? Touch, touch, touch. But I want you to watch this switch in stance right here. Okay, now he's switched stances. And he does this all the time. So when guys are trying to go to the left or the right to exit away from the fence, he just switches stances, right? They go that way, now he's got the lead hand this way. They go that way, now he's got the lead hand this way. And he's gonna do exactly that. We're gonna watch him here. He's gonna throw. Masvidal is gonna jump up here. I think he's gonna get a little, there it is, boom, boom. So there's the left hook. Now this left hook lands. You can see Masvidal's face. And you see Colby, he's off the line, right? Colby's completely off the line. This punch misses him. Right? And then this is what he starts to do. Now, once he gets success, watch how fast he reloads this left hand after he sees it lands. He's like, oh, that left hook landed. Bang. Left hook number 2. And you can see he's starting to take away that space and push Masvidal back with that volume. And he's going to throw another one. Boom. Boom. And look at Masvidal, right? It's just volume. He backs the guy up, and now he's against the cage. So this is what Colby does. Now we're going to use Robbie here. Robbie, dangerous striker, southpaw, right? Again, Colby's not diving for the legs yet. He sets it up with the volume. So here we're going to see Colby's out of the southpaw stance, very good at switching. There's that big head kick. He throws that head kick a lot. It doesn't always land, but he's got dexterity in his legs as well. Sets that down, and we see Robbie just kind of shake that off. But we're going to see Colby start firing away again and pushing this guy back into the fence, switching stances. There's a huge uppercut, and then he's in on the leg. So you don't know what to worry about, right? And we're going to take a look at this punch one more time. Look at this punch. Robbie's trying to guess, what's he going to do? Bang. So the problem is when you're in front of Colby, you're trying to figure out, is he going to take me down? Is he going to kick? Is he going to punch? He does it all at the same time. And that's why he gets guys confused. So gave Robbie a lot of problems. I think that was the most significant strikes maybe in welterweight history at the time. Was a really big win for him. And finally, this is him when he's confident. He'll stay on the feet, right? He gets the guy so tired from his barrage and his cardio that he just starts picking away at the guy. And we're going to see that right here. He's just throwing jabs, backing up in the center of the octagon. Robbie was so tired at this point, and bam, hits him with that big kick. You see the reaction. Let's take a look at that. Again, we said he was good at flipping up the kicks. He's got Robbie worried about the hands, and we're going to see the sneak right underneath. Boom, right? So he'll stay at range even when guys get worn down. He'll wear them down with his strikes and his cardio and his wrestling. He'll stay at range. Volume striker, but very, very effective. Colby Covington, he's got hands too. So he's going to definitely have to use them too against Leon.
All right, and Leon Edwards, if he does get backed up to the fence with Colby and things start playing out in close quarters, he has shown the ability to clinch. I mean, on the feet, he can do it all.
Absolutely. Leon is really good in the clinch, very dangerous with his elbows and knees, and he's got great timing. He's really good at grabbing the head and kind of catching guys, right? He's used to people trying to take him down his whole career, okay? So here he is against RDA, right? And we use this because RDA is a great grappler. He's trying to get in on Leon, trying to ground him. And once these guys get close to try to get those double unders, Leon grabs the head. He's really, really great at the timing. So he's grabbing the head, and we see this frame here. We see RDA saying, all right, I got to back out. I don't want to get kneed. So he's trying to back out. He doesn't want to get kneed. Watch Leon and just how slick he can be. When he realizes RDA is starting to pull out, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to switch to the elbow. Boom. And he cut RDA bad with these elbows. He was landing them at will in this fight. And again, this is a different view, but you look at the chin, right? I mean, he brought his head straight back up. And Leon is thinking about loading that knee. I mean, he's like, let me load that knee. It shows you how fast his mind works and how good he is in close with the strikes as well. Again, RDA tries to back up, and he's like, I'm just going to switch. And these are right on the temple, right? These create those cuts. They're important. And you see that right now starting to happen. And so I look for Leon, when Colby tries to grab him, to definitely be very dangerous in the clinch. Here we go again. RDA with the overhook. All right, let me get him down. This is a good position for RDA, right? He's like, all right, this is where I need to be. I need to get this guy down, use my black belt. Well, Leon, he's got long arms, and he's really, really good in the clinch. We're going to see Leon, he's going to kind of get his arms up and get a little bit of a butterfly grip up top. There it is right there. We see the blue and the blue on the gloves. So he elevates RDA's underhooks, and now RDA is kind of like, oh man, I ain't getting that takedown from here. But all of this is just manipulation, and we're going to see why. As Leon kind of turns him, and they kind of throw some knees. There's one from RDA. Let's watch this right here. Watch the positioning of this elbow and how Leon is pressing down on RDA's elbow, right? He's on the outside. This is so slick. He knows that RDA can't react in time because he's got his elbow on top of RDA. Bang, he exploits that for that beautiful shot. So real gamesmanship here from Leon. Very slick in the clinch, very sneaky. And again, we use a Kamaru fight. We know Kamaru's going to try to get in and be physical. Gets in close. Right away, we see this. I mean, he's very good at just snatching that head up. And so right when he does it, guys try to pull out, but sometimes they don't. And you'll see this. Look at this position of the knee, how he's throwing it at the angle. It's not straight up, right? He's very good at figuring it out. Watch this knee here. Let's watch Kamaru. I mean, oh man, I mean, that was a hard knee. And you look at Kamaru's face here. I mean, you could tell that that knee really, really rocked him. So you can't get a hold of Leon and think, okay, no problem. I'm just going to grab you. He will hurt you in these exchanges. And finally, we're going to use this. Gunnar Nelson, excellent black belt. Very, very good. Another, guy that's a grappler. He's trying to get in here on Leon. We're going to see this position. We want to pause it right here. Let's get close here. Let's get right there. Okay. You look at Gunnar. He's got his leg in between. He's got this hand right here. He's kind of underneath Leon. But again, it's all Leon needs. He just needs to grab that head. Let's watch what Leon does here. His amazing ability to move in these tight spaces. Boom, full rotation, drops Gunnar. Gunnar was like, I'm in a good spot. Bam, no, you're not. Let's look at how he does this. This is amazing. He's gonna turn his body right here, and he's gonna end up facing this way so that he can pivot his hips and use all the power exactly like how you're supposed to in this close proximity. Right here, this doesn't look like he's in a good spot. Watch how quickly he changes that scenario. So again, Leon's showing, you try to grab him, he's gonna end up hurting you. And again, look how he turned his feet from here to turn his feet all the way. Great footwork and positioning in close by Leon Edwards. Very, very dangerous inside the clinch. Colby's gonna have to watch out for that.
Colby Covington, known for his wrestling. Now, he's done a great job at rounding out into a complete mixed martial arts fighter, but in the Pac-12 at Oregon State, he was a standout wrestler, and he's done a great job at that in the octagon as well.
Absolutely, Brendan. Colby's going to look to wrestle in this fight, right? Whether it's at range or in the clinch, Colby is really good at mixing up his offense, pushing guys to the fence and getting these takedowns. So let's take a look at his body of work here. Again, it's all about that volume. Let's watch Colby push Masvidal back. I mean, just punches and bunches, and before you know it, He's got Masvidal against the fence and he's in on the shot, okay? And let's just break this down, the end of it and what he does here. And this is the impressive part. So we see him, he's orthodox. Can I borrow you for a second? All right. So you're southpaw, right?
Yeah.
Stay orthodox for this.
Okay, sure.
So the hands are up. So I'm throwing punches at you, but I'm in the orthodox position. So in your head, you're like, okay, if I want to take you down, I've got to kind of slide forward. And so see you step back, right? We're managing the range. Masvidal knows he's close to the cage, right? It's not his first rodeo, but he knows that he's in that orthodox stance. What Colby's going to do here, he's going to go 1, 2. He changes the range management by stepping through in the punches. Now this is my lead leg, and what? Now I can wrestle. Watch how he does this. He's going to step forward with the punch when he throws the right hand, and as he throws the right hand, he steps forward, and now he's in this spot, okay? So he closes the distance by switching his legs and his hands. Now, when I first saw this, the coach in me was like, man, this is not good posture, this is not what you want to do. But reviewing it further, and I'm always learning as well, he does this by design. He puts his head down there and hides it so that way he can't get elbowed and he can't get kneed. And he's so good in this position. He'll crack down, he'll go to his knees. He gets in on these legs and you'll see what he does. So Masvidal, what is Masvidal supposed to do here? He can't elbow him in the spine, right? There's really no place to hit Colby. And now Colby makes a small little adjustment and he's gonna lock his hands. And once he locks his hands, it's over. And you're gonna see Masvidal is gonna chest wrap because that's what you do when someone locks their hands and they get in that deep. But that doesn't mean anything because this is Colby's land right here. This is his world. He gets that takedown and he's good right here. So this chest wrap is gonna get nullified right away. So Colby setting up the takedowns really, really well with the striking here. This is him against RDA. RDA's a striker when he needs to be as well. He's not bad on the feet. And Colby knew he was gonna have to strike with RDA. He wasn't gonna be able to just try to take him down. RDA is a good black belt. So watch this, lifts the leg up to feint a kick, and he's gonna get this nice little level change here. So RDA's like, all right, he's probably gonna try to shoot on me. But look at Colby. He'll hit you, man. When you're not ready, he will hit you. And this is how he keeps guys off balance. Look at this uppercut. Bang, loads it in. RDA is like, oh, I didn't see that. And now they're in this exchange. But before you know it, Colby's gonna shoot this underhook right when RDA and him are trying to go at it. And now Colby's got the underhook. He's in close and he's already transitioning to the wrestling and RDA still dealing with the boxing. So here it comes. We're gonna see him go to a knee tap here. He's gonna drive that underhook. He's gonna knee tap right here. You block the knee. This underhook is gonna run, right? And you basically try to run through the guy. You sprint, right? You run your feet and you block his knee, right? And that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna run his feet, block the knee, and he's gonna pull the leg out, and now he's on top again with his control. Again, so now we're in the clinch, no problem for Colby at range, no problem. Here he's against Woodley. I put this in here. We know Woodley kind of had a little dissension at the end, but he was always a great wrestler, okay? And Colby, as you said, was a good wrestler as well. So here's two really good, powerful wrestlers going against one another. And when Colby needs it, that power double is there. Look at Woodley extend the right hand. We see Colby, perfect timing, underneath, attacking the hips already. So he can even do that. If Leon's really bearing down on him and he needs to go to that double leg, Leon's gonna have to watch out because he's so powerful and so good at it. He can wrestle in the clinch. He can wrestle at range. Colby's got very good transitions there. It's one that's probably his best skill.
Well, you mentioned at the top of the show, Leon Edwards, known for his striking, his precision, his range. He has rounded out the skill set. He's got some grappling as well. Even scored a takedown against Kamaru Usman. A lot of people didn't expect that.
Only takedown ever in welterweight history, and you nailed it. That is going to be in this clip. Leon's going to have to depend on that evolved wrestling to stop this attack. We know Colby's going to put pressure on him. A lot of takedowns, a lot of pressure, especially against the fence. So you nailed it, Brendan. This is exactly the clips that we're going to use. We're going to use a Kamaru Usman fight because, look, MMA math doesn't always work, but Usman fought Colby, both dominant wrestlers, and Usman came out on top, right? He was able to mitigate that wrestling of Colby's and come out on top. So for Leon to be able to win against Usman in the grappling department, we're going to have to hypothesize off that and try to see what it's going to be like against Colby. So we're going to use this as the last fight. This just shows you the confidence of Leon. Watch this. Boom. So there's a knockdown. He's chasing that ground, man. You know, I mean, before he would kind of try to avoid it. He's trying to take his back right here. And you're going to see Usman, very impressive, come back up, get in on the single right here. Usman's in on the leg. And I mean, Usman is so slick. He's even in low, right? But look at Leon. I mean, this is a good position for Usman. He hustled to it, and he's going to switch to the double there too. Leon takes his arms away, starts controlling the wrist, and we're going to see this. Now we're going to push him back to the fence, and this is really, really huge right here. Okay, we know that this is where Colby likes to work. Colby's very good against the fence. We just showed it. We just chatted about it. So we're going to talk about what Leon does to counter that. Here he is in on the bicep, and I want to really pay attention to what Leon does here with that hand, with that free hand, and how he allocates this hand and makes it so useful. So here we see him grab the wrist, right? And he grabs the wrist, but he's feeding this wrist to his other hand. And we're going to see him do this. So what he's going to actually do is, let's get our viewers to see that. He's going to feed that wrist. So now he's got two hands on one. And you always want 2 on 1. This is the number one rule whenever you're trying to break wrist control. You want 2 on 1. So here's the 2 on 1. He's fed the hand here. And now we're going to see Kamaru. Kamaru's going to try to get it out of there. He's trying to get it out. And we see the overhook here of Leon, and we see the underhook of Kamaru. But you can see Kamaru, he's putting pressure in with the shoulder, and he's really fixated on this situation, right? He's yanking his hand, and he's kind of just chilling with everything else. But this is the brilliance of Leon's evolved wrestling. We see Kamaru trying to pull and pull and pull. We see Leon let go of that, go back to just the one wrist control. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I wonder why he did that. I was very well reminded here. As Kamaru puts all this pressure forward and is still digging in with that shoulder, trying to keep Leon there, Leon is going to use that pressure against Kamaru, almost like judo. He's going to use the momentum against him. Boom. He held that wrist, kept on playing with it, let Kamaru get so engaged with it, and then he just pulled and turned away and let Kamaru run right into the fence. So watch how he does it one more time. All this pressure in. He's concerned about that. He's going to keep that wrist, let Kamaru drive him with that wrist forward. Bang. And this just shows the evolution of Leon Edwards, his evolution against the cage, against Kamaru, and understanding Kamaru's whole game, right? And very impressive. Next, this is the famous takedown that you just brought up. We're going to let this play, and this just shows you the confidence that Leon has. No one has ever taken Kamaru Usman down at welterweight. This was the only takedown. He had the Hamzat fight, but that was at 85. So here we see Leon working against the cage, trying to get his underhooks in his position. So here he is. He's got the underhook. He's doing his thing, okay? But usually he's just trying to defend, right? He's not trying to win. He's not trying to get takedowns. He's trying to get off the cage. Here we see the evolution of Leon Edwards in the grappling. So now he's like, you know what? I'm going to get mine. Gets that lock, which is a very strong lock. And still we saw Kamaru, this was the second fight, like, man, this guy's not going to take me down. No one had ever taken him down. And I want you to watch this hand and watch what Kamaru does with this hand. And this kind of indicates his mindset at the time. He's going to throw a little baby punch right here. If you're worried about getting taken down, you're not throwing this little shot right here when the guy's in deep on you, right? You're just like, okay, I need to defend that. But he had never been taken down. Leon was like, today's the day. Gets this outside leg trip. And this is an amazing little sequence here. And we did this before in our previous breakdown. Look at Kamaru. He's still on the ground and he's trying to hike Leon over and base here. But Leon's just too strong. Leon ends on top, controlled this round and took his back. The new evolved Leon is a great grappler when he needs to be. He can be offensive, he can be defensive, and he's going to definitely need that against Colby.
Colby is second all-time in welterweight takedowns and second in active welterweight ground control time or control time. And so that's where Colby Covington really shines.
I mean, it's a great point that you bring up. We know he's a great wrestler, but he's so good at the top and back control. If he can keep Leon grounded, this really might be where the fight is determined. So let's take a look at what Colby does once he gets people down. This is a perfect example. Okay, again, we're going to use strikers here. We got a southpaw striker, Robbie Lawler, who's very dangerous on the feet. And, you know, Robbie's not a ground guy, but he's been in there with the best. It's not like he doesn't know how to be on the ground. So this is still very impressive. We see Colby, he's very good at putting himself in between the cage and the athlete that he's fighting, right? And what he does is, you look at Robbie, he's out here, his legs are out here. How's he supposed to get up? He's got Colby on the backpack. He can't use the fence to get up. He can't get away because he's holding on to him right here. So this is one of those control positions where he just tortures people. He stays on their neck. He doesn't even get a finish, but he's just torturing them. So here we go. Robbie's like, man, I got to turn inside here. And you can see he's trying to put pressure on, but he's not even under the chin. This is all by design. So let me just crank on your neck. You want to sit and hang out. I'm just going to make you miserable. So Robbie's like, I got to move here. And what you want to do is you want to turn inside. You always got to go into pressure. If I turn away, nothing good's going to happen, right? I'm going to get my back taken. I'm going to get flattened out. So I've actually got to go inside. I've got to try to get this elbow to turn inside so I can either end up in the guard, right? I've got to turn and face. And exactly what Robbie's going to do. He's like, man, I need to turn inside here. This is a lot of pressure. I need to do something. So you're going to see Robbie starts moving. Here comes a scramble. He's going to look to turn inside. Well, Colby's just a step ahead, man. And that's what Colby does. As Robbie goes to turn inside, Colby just goes, I'm just going to go to the other side. And this is the stuff that really breaks your mental, man. He just ended up in the exact same position, but just on the other side. And to make matters worse, Colby adds on here. He's like, now, since you're trying to be slick, I'm going to lace your leg. And here we go. He's going to lace the leg. And now he's just, again, the pressure, right? And we're going to see him reach for that far wrist. There's that reach for the far wrist. And now he's got the leg, right? He's got the far wrist, and he's going to start pushing Robbie this way to try to get him sideways, right? And again, it's just the way that he moves and how good he is at these transitions. There's no space, and that's what you want. You don't want to give your opponents any space. So great ground control here, using his hips, using everything. Here he's against Robbie again, and this is another great example, technically. What you want to do, Brendan, is you want to get somebody's feet above their head, right? If you're on your butt here against the fence, you're trying to post your hands, we call it 4 on the floor, your hands and your feet so you can stand and build your base up. If I take your legs and I put them over your head, you're not standing anywhere. So this is really technical stuff, and we're going to see how he uses this. So he keeps that. He's hipping in. You can see him hipping in hard. And once Robbie starts to try to turn, then we get back to that same position in between the cage. So this is how he sets up these ground positions, and he just keeps switching back and forth, back and forth. Doesn't matter which way you turn, he's going to be there, and he's going to be on top. And again, I don't need to say anything. Look at that. The pressure just breaks people, right? The ground control pressure. So Colby's just so good at putting the pressure on. Doesn't need the choke. Here we go against Masvidal, and he's sitting in the guard here. Not the most exciting thing, but he's got such good cardio and such good pace that he can just keep going. So even in these guard positions, look at these elbow after elbow after elbow, and he cracks Masvidal with this stuff. And this is how, again, he starts breaking people. Even from the guard, he's very, very productive. So he can control from the top, he can control from the back. He's always one step ahead when it comes to the ground control. So something Leon cannot allow to happen.
All right, we go into X factors now. We'll save the champion for last. We'll go into Colby Covington. And when you talk about striking, when you talk about wrestling and ground control, kind of the relentless nature of Colby Covington is the common thread.
Colby Chaos Covington, and he makes chaos. That's what he does. This guy has melted some of the best fighters in the UFC and some former champions. His pressure is relentless, and no one really has a pace like he does in the welterweight division. That's what he does. So here he goes against Masvidal. But this is the impressive part, right? There's about 15 shots he's going to throw here, Brendan, that are unanswered, right? And again, not all of them land, not all of them are pretty, but that's what he does. Once Masvidal gets back up, he's backing on the legs. And again, there's that funky posture, but he can't get hit, right? So this is how he wears guys out. He's punching, punching, punching. Now he's wrestling. Look at this. Robbie is starting right here behind the line. Look at Colby. He's already way out here. He is going to jet all the way over here, and he's going to have Robbie against the fence within 5 to 10 seconds. Here we go. Backs him up. Now Robbie's already getting close to the fence. He's going to throw one kick here, one more kick right here. Look at where Robbie is. right? So Colby is always playing mental games too, about getting in guys' face and putting a lot of pressure on them and backing them up. And Robbie likes, Leon too. They like to get their space and their range and land their strikes. So I think Colby's going to really get right in Leon's face, and here you see him talking trash. Come on, man. Come on, bring it on. And just adding punches and kicks and knees. But this was the really exhausting part. I'm going to get your leg. I'm going to elevate it all the way over your head. I'm going to take you down. I mean, it's relentless pressure, man. Whether it's the wrestling, whether it's the striking, whether it's the fence control, it's relentless pressure. And lastly, this is just this sums it up right here, okay? Watch Colby here. He's going to go way up in the air here, a little double knee, and look at RDA. So we see RDA is like, all right, he gets his hand up, he's backing up, he's trying to figure it out. Colby's way over his head, jumps way up high. So RDA is like, all right, here comes a counter punch. Look at Colby here. As RDA is going to counter and throw his punches, Colby goes from all the way up to all the way down, gets his knee in the middle, gets his hand right here on the leg, right? And RDA is like, man, dude, he's down on the ground again. So Colby is relentless with his pace. He's up, he's down, he's left, he's right. He's going to push you back. He's going to get you towards the fence, and he's going to get you down, or he's going to put a lot of volume on you.
And that was the night that he captured interim UFC gold against Rafael dos Anjos, the former champ. Now he has a chance for undisputed gold once again against Leon Edwards. What is the X factor for the champion?
Precision, right? Precision versus pressure right here. Leon is a very precise striker. We have seen that in the octagon. He's very patient, very methodical. He will wait for that kill shot. Colby does come forward. He's a little reckless with his chin because he has so much pressure. We've seen him get dropped multiple times in some of these fights, and I really think Leon's going to be looking to find that chin. So let's take a look at look at babyface Leon here, young Leon here against Seth. And this fight isn't very long, but we're just going to see. Here comes a guy, very aggressive, coming forward, right? Trying to take that space. The fence is here. We're going to see Leon. He's just going to step this way, right? He's going to give himself some space right here, and he's just going to step out. He's going to slide out. Now he's reset the middle, okay? And that's all he needs. Seth's like, all right, you want to run away a little bit? Here I come. Bang, steps in, just nails him with this left hand. And the reason I think this is important is because we've seen Colby get dropped, but he gets back up because he's got such a crazy pace. Watch this punch that Leon puts on Seth here at the end. It's not that punch, it's that punch. It's that knockout punch right here. He's so precise, even with the ground and pound. Look at that. And that's the punch that really puts him out. I think he has one more there for good measure. So I look for Leon, if he knocks Colby down, to really try to jump on him and land that follow-up shot. Lastly, the shot from around the world, the kill shot, as Leon says. I mean, the patience to set this up, right? And this is the turning point for Leon, right? He was down in this fight, but just watch how methodical and patient he is. He's not rushing, he's still feigning, he's still faking, he's still level changing, still giving Usman all the looks, and it really just needed that big moment. We're gonna break this down here. Watch this, okay? You see the little feint, you see Usman react. Usman has an incredibly high fight IQ as well. We're gonna see this little lead hand, and Usman goes this way. He doesn't extend the punch, so he's like, no problem. Then he comes back towards the other side. Look at this, and we're gonna look at it again from the top view. This punch is right in front of Usman's face. So the punch is right in his face. He could have went left, he could have went right. He just went left, so he's just gonna go, okay, I just need to go a little bit right and just get out of the way. But what he didn't see was this leg was already in motion, right? He blinded Usman with that hand, and he brought the kick right behind it. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Again, we talked about him landing with the shin, perfect shot, and he set that up. And I look for him to do the same thing against Colby, to try to set it up. And here we go again. We're gonna use this camera 7. Watch him set this up, the little feint. Watch the lead hand position. Let's go a little bit more here, right there. You see how much space is really there, right? There's space, that's in Usman's chest. And you see Usman thinking like, all right, I just need to go over here. But now you can see, man, that leg was already in motion. So for him to have the athleticism and the precision to throw the punch and have the kick coming and to land it straight to where Usman was already going, that's the real impressive part. And Leon is so precise and very, very dangerous with all of his limbs, hands or feet, knees, elbows. We really have to look out for the precision of Leon Edwards. Precision versus pressure in this one. We'll see which one wins.
All right, now after looking at all the game tape there, we go into keys to victory.
Yeah.
We'll start with the champion here, Leon Edwards. If he hangs on to his belt, how does he do it?
Well, he's going to manage the range, right? We know Colby wants to push him backwards. We got into it in detail. He's going to want to push him against the fence. He's going to wrestle. He's going to want to get in close. He doesn't want to stay at range with Leon Edwards. So he's going to have to manage the range and make sure he can keep Colby away, keep Colby in the middle. He has to stay off the fence. We've seen Leon have problems before against the cage. We can't forget about the first 2 fights with Usman. He was losing that second fight. That cage control, I guarantee you that Colby has paid attention to his fence work and seen where his flaws are. And I know that Colby's going to try to exploit that, and that's his style anyway. So that's a no-brainer, stay off the fence. Lastly, I think he's got to be first. He's very patient and methodical, but Colby's like a freight train coming forward. And you deal with a bully by bullying. So I think that he's going to have to use his offense, his defense, and really try to back Colby up, make him make a mistake, and catch him coming in. So being first is very important. He's going to have a higher pace than normal, I think, for this fight.
All right, out of the blue corner, Colby Covington.
Colby Chaos Covington has to push the pace, right? We know that's his secret weapon, that cardio. It's not even a secret. His cardio, his pace, try to wear Leon down. We've seen Leon get a little bit emotional before. His coach, you don't let him bully you, son. We've seen Leon kind of get behind. He is a champion now, so I expect him to be more confident, but Colby's going to try to exploit that, and he's got to stay disciplined with his takedowns. It's no secret what he's good at. Leon is also very good, we show, with the knees, with the elbows. He's very good timing things in close. Look at the Gunner example. He has to set up his shots, or he might get caught with one of those knees or an uppercut and get knocked out. Lastly, he's going to have to cut off the octagon. Leon has great footwork and great movement, right? And we look for Leon to be moving. Colby's going to have to cut off the octagon, otherwise he's going to be chasing him with that chin up and get exposed. And also, if he can even just get Leon against the cage, sometimes Leon spends some time there. And even defending, it will help Colby build some momentum, kind of drain Leon's arms, right? Defending everything, and could really help him in the later rounds. So he's going to have to cut off the octagon and do a really good job of mitigating Leon's footwork.
Well, Leon Edwards got the championship belt off of Kamaru Usman. He defended it. Now he says his task is to become one of the greatest of all time. He can certainly add to that. Meanwhile, Colby Covington says it is destiny that he becomes UFC champion. And it's a big night for the welterweight division at UFC 296. What a way to cap it with Leon Edwards and Colby Covington. Expertly done, as always. For Sayif Saud, I'm Brendan Fitzgerald. Thank you, as always, for watching UFC Breakdown.